let's get to the Houston Astros right now, and Chas McCormick debuting on FT Live. Chas, great to have you on, dude. Ooh, looks like a nice little cozy seat you've got going on there, dude. Happy Monday.
What's up, guys? Yeah, I'm just sitting behind home plate here. Just love looking at this field. It's a beautiful field.
Wait, is that Bagwell or Biggio's seat? Because they always sit in that front row right behind home plate. So who's did you steal today?
I know. I was thinking the same thing. I was like, I wonder whose seat I'm in right now.
It's a good spot.
Oh, it's a great spot.
It's a good spot.
I've sat there. I think I sat there with Millar for a few innings for a playoff game last year, the year before.
You know what the best part of Houston is? They have a roof when it's 120 outside, and they have a roof and it's 72, and you're like, thank you, God, there's a roof. I don't have to sweat to death.
The best part.
Well, Chaz, you weathered the conditions.
What?
You weathered the conditions growing up, no?
Yeah, not really. I mean, where I'm from, it's kind of it's more cold than like in Houston. I'm not used to this Houston weather. Well, now I am, but not the humidity here.
Dude, he's from Philly. They don't have heat in Philly.
Yeah, but he had to deal with cold ass weather, rain, all that. No.
No. We just didn't have any roofs. We had to play in the snow and the rain, and so it kind of sucked.
Excuse Scott, Chaz. He never played, so just excuse whatever he says. Just
whatever
he talks about, just be like, Scott, you don't know what you're talking about.
I'm not asking any more questions. You got it, AJ.
I got a great question
because your interview.
I had him
just called his game recently.
I had him on Saturday, and I said on the air, and I asked Dusty Baker this question before the game. I said, did Chas McCormick go and watch Jose Altuve tapes and just swing like him, especially your lower half, and then just try to emulate him because he just got his 2000th hit, and he's probably going to the Hall of Fame. He's definitely going to be in the Astros Hall of Fame. One of the great Astros of all time. So, Chaz, did you just say I'm going to hit like Jose Altuve and then go about it? Because if you put you two next to each other, your hands start a little bit different, but your lower halves, I mean, they are identical working.
Yeah. That's what just the only difference is really he starts open and dives in, and I'm already kind of closed off, and I dive in a little more. So obviously, I mean, it would be helpful if I could start open like him and then not cut myself off as much, because he does a really good job getting to the inside pitch, even pulling balls dead left. But I do watch him hit a lot, and mostly just how we finish, like you said, in our lower half, and how we kind of dive to the ball, and then we can poke into the left center, right center gap. But I always tell him I have more opposite field juice than him, so it's pretty nice to see him hit as well.
Yeah, he doesn't like it when dudes tell him they got more opposite field juice. When I was on the BP team there in 2016, I got to watch Correa try to hit more oppo bombs than Altuve. Does he? Are you his new muse? Are you the guy who you go up against him in BP, or are you in a different group?
I mean, I'm in a different group. I'm not I'm not in group one where the stars are the Altuves, the Alvarezes. I actually don't take much BP on the field. I'm more of a cage machine kind of guy right before the game.
Alex Cintron allows you to do that. I was talking to him on Saturday, and he said, we got to get more guys out here to hit. So I guess you're one of those guys Alex was talking about?
I mean, maybe, but
no, he didn't say that. It's just I love Alex. I played with Alex. He's great. He's one of the best. And so, he did not say that. So don't worry about it. You're safe.
No, yeah. So I didn't know you played with him. Yeah, he's a cool dude. I like him a lot.
Have you seen his numbers this year, Chaz's?
I just did their game on Saturday. Yes, I've seen his numbers. He's having You're not allowed to talk this interview.
Oh, right. I forgot.
Chaz, what so I want to go back because I like talking hitting. So when you hit, and we talked about your lower half with Altuve, did you always naturally, we used to call it scissor kicking, right? Where your back foot and your front foot, they kind of work like scissors. Have you always done that, or is that – because I know we used to try to work on that, and like Paul Konerko and Jermaine Dye always worked on the scissor with the back foot. Miguel Cabrera does it. Altuve does it probably better than anybody. But is that something you had to work on, or did that come naturally with your back foot kind of?
Yeah, that came naturally. I never really worked on it. I just think I've always kind of worked on hitting the ball the other way, throughout high school and college. I was always really wide. So I had to narrow up a little bit, but then I kind of just not sure what happened through pro ball, but I kind of dived in a little more, and then eventually my scissor got bigger. I feel like, But I never really worked on it. It just kind of how it just naturally happened throughout the minor leagues and then even into the big leagues.
You are a freaking stud. All right, so I'm about 45 minutes from you. I grew up and live right near Lansdale. My shortstop on my high school team is now going to Millersville as a freshman, Nate Lapp.
Oh,
So
let's go.
So the boys are going to keep banging in Millersville.
Yeah, that's cool.
Do you feel like being a northern kid that you were always kind of just behind this shadow of I didn't play a lot of games. The whole time you were just like bang, 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 and it all culminated in you catching that double from Real Muto in Philly last year in the World Series?
Yeah. I mean, just playing at a small, Division II school, constantly playing in the cold, rarely having scouts kind of at our games. I just try to have kind of a chip on my shoulder, anyways, got the opportunity, got drafted, it was a blessing. And, then obviously playing in the World Series against Philadelphia last year, my second year in the big leagues. That was obviously my first time playing in Philadelphia as well. So even at being in the World Series and making that huge cash against JT Realmuto, everything kind of came at me all at once after that catch. But yeah, I just I always knew I was good enough, and even throughout the minor leagues, I was moving up pretty fast in this organization, and I was like, I have a chance. Even a couple of my hitting coaches were like, you're way closer than you actually think you are. And obviously, just how good this team was from 16 to now, I was kind of always like, oh man, I hope the window of winning in this organization is still going as I get caught up in 20 or 21, whatever it was. And yeah, I was just happy to be able to go to the World Series my rookie year in 21, and then being able to win it last year.
Now you've come up through Houston. Have they approached you about an extension?
No, they haven't.
They should, because since you've been up in the big leagues, you have been one of the most productive outfielders, moving around.
Yeah.
You play a little here and there, but you have been so productive. And you talk about the next window of winning.
Yeah.
You're part of that.
Yeah.
You're part of that.
No, that's no, I'm happy you said that. And that that's what I was hoping for. I was going through the minor leagues. I was like, I hope I can be a part of this winning tradition. I hope it doesn't end anytime soon. But yeah, I just in the big leagues is so hard. You got to constantly work on your craft. I struggled a lot last year with right-handed pitching, with off speed, and obviously going into my arbitration year after this year. Through the off season and then into this year, I really needed to work on some things, to be a more of an elite player. I've always took pride in my defense. I was always an athlete, played basketball, football growing up, but being able to hit in the big leagues is super, super hard. Cause when these guys start throwing sinkers at 98 and sliders away at 83, that's where you have to work on, something more than just having your ability be able to take over, because you have to have a mental plan, and there's just a lot more things into it.
All right. So you're a local kid from where I'm at here. Like we said, you went to Henderson, right?
Yeah.
What people don't know is Chas scored 1,000 points and had 100 hits in high school. So you were an athlete. But that's not what I want to talk about. Are you in the middle of the World Series? Are you buying a hoagie at Wawa because you're not getting one in Houston?
Definitely.
And what are you getting? What kind of hoagie are you getting?
Yeah. So I get a couple. It stinks that Houston doesn't have any Wawa. Even last night, I was telling my fiance, I was like, man, Wawa would be huge right now. But usually I go with a meatball sub or a buffalo chicken sandwich. And those two are the go-to for me.
Solid.
Chaz, since you guys are having all this love about, somewhere in Pennsylvania right now, what's the better school? Eastern Mennonite University or Millersville?
I would say Millersville.
Okay,
University.
good answer.
Yeah.
Do you know what Eastern Mennonite is?
I've never heard of Eastern Mennonite. No.
Well, that's where Kratz went to school, so now he's off the interview.
That's in Virginia. It's not even in the same state.
Oh, hell, you went there. You talk about it like it's next door, so I didn't know. I had to Google where it was.
Division III. He played at the elite level, Division II. I played at Division III. You played at high school.
That's right, Division I.
Yeah, what division did you play in?
7A, baby.
Kratz, you played for the Phillies, right? You for a little bit.
Probably when you were a kid, yeah.
Yeah, no, it's cool. I always enjoyed watching you play and the Phillies back in the day.
That's a lie. That's such a lie because he didn't play.
I did play for the Phillies.
Yeah, but like what, 25 games?
Oh my God.
No. The Phillies I played more.
Oh,
the Phillies I played more.
Yeah. Those were the glory days. And Chaz was watching. Like, Chaz, you were watching Rollins and Utley and Howard and the whole group. You all right?
Yeah. You guys were loaded just with Holiday and Cliff Lee and even I can name them all: Joe Bland, Chase Utley, Jimmy Rollins, Raul Ibanez. I could even go to Polanco and Lieberthal.
Greg Dobbs.
Oh God.
Yeah, Dobbs.
Matt Stairs. Don't forget a good Matt Stairs.
Well, now it's immaculate good season, so we know all these guys again.
Wait, you're not allowed to talk. So wait, Chaz, when you played the Phillies in the World Series, were you like?
That's what they were just talking about.
No, I know, but I'm like thinking about this now. I'm like, if he's such a Phillies fan, like, dude, it had to be kind of weird, but at the same time, awesome. We're like, we beat your ass.
Did you not watch the World Series, AJ?
Yeah,
sorry,
dude,
Chaz. He doesn't know what's going on.
I didn't watch my interviews. I
didn't watch your
Chaz
interviews.
like 3 times.
Did you?
He had friends there, right? That were like, oh, I don't know who to root for.
Yeah. That's what I was gonna say. It was pretty strange. Just a lot of. Even like friends from a couple of years ago in college, like they would text me or DM me, be like, "Oh, you're gonna swamp you've never played at a place like Citizens Bank Park." I'm like, we were friends a couple of years ago. Jesus, but it was definitely a little strange. But I had good support all the way through from family and friends.
Yeah, those aren't your friends. Friends are trolling you. They ain't your friends anymore.
They're your best friends.
I was like, what the heck is this?
It just shows you Philly fans, dude. They're
intense.
They're tough.
Yeah, that was a cool scene.
It is cool, though. It was awesome. The World Series, in Philly was awesome.
I will say, from my observation point as the broadcaster when I was there last year, there were a couple times where you noticed Chaz in particular, who was kind of taken in the scene, right? Like, there were a couple times where you were there, like, out in the field when not as many dudes were, so you could check out, like, holy shit, to be on the field now and see also a place that was packed, right?
No, yeah, it was pretty insane. Even just before the game, they had Meek Mill performing out there. Yeah. I thought that was pretty cool. But no, definitely a tough little year for Philadelphia with the Phillies losing and then the Eagles losing the Super Bowl. So that was tough.
Really good at second place.
Yeah, but here's the thing.
Whoa. Easy who you're laughing at, right, Chaz? Like, I'm making that connection with the Northeast kids here. I'm giving you mad props.
You're right. You're right.
I need you to say the word John, and I won't be mad at you.
What do you say, John?
Yeah, there you go. See, he knows what it is.
All that John.
I know exactly what it is.
What is happening here? All right, let's get back to something a little more important, Jazz, besides your Northeast hoagies and Wawas. Because we got Wawas in Florida. It ain't like they're only in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, they're more of a big deal up there, though.
Oh, they're a big deal here. You guys ain't got Buc-ee's, though. So when you get Buc-ee's, let me know.
Oh, yeah.
Chaz, you guys played the Mariners this weekend. Didn't go so good for the home team. You guys had a big team meeting after the game. Was it like Dusty? Was it a player? I know you're not going to get into specifics. I don't want to know.
They did a little bit. Some of their guys talked about it after the game.
Yeah, I understand. But you don't want to, you just don't talk about that kind of stuff. But was it led by Dusty? Was it a players-only meeting? And then second of all, were you guys like, fuck these guys, man. We won the World Series last year. We just got Verlander. We're coming right back on them.
Yeah, it was Maldonado. It was just a players meeting. Maldonado talked to us for a little bit, just saying it was a slap in the face. We kind of needed this. It was a wake-up call. And they did. They're a hell of a team, Seattle. And they kicked their butts. That's kind of what we just talked about. But again, like Maldonado said, some teams need it. We needed it. We can't really take things for granted. Every team wants to come to our house and beat us. So definitely a tough weekend. We're not playing our best ball. Seattle's playing great, but we're not playing our best ball. But hopefully, we get Tucker, Michael Brantley back. and we can finish strong, because this race, this division race, this wild card race is going to come down to the last couple games of the season. So,
do you feel like teams play up to the Astros? I mean, I know you haven't been in the league for a long time, but I feel like there are a few teams in baseball. Some of it has to do with legacy, and then some of it has to do with obviously just recently kicking most teams' asses and winning a lot, right? As a Houston ball club, where I feel like I've talked to Yankees that feel this way, where they're like, "Yo, we're the Yankees. They play up to us. It's a big deal for them. They watch just more growing up." Do you feel that way as a player on the Astros with opponents sometimes?
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, because we won the World Series last year, so this year we got a Bulls on our back. Everybody wants to beat us. But yeah, like you said about the Yankees, it's like, it's fun to play in New York. Every team wants to beat the Yankees, and you go into New York, and it's just like another type of atmosphere, because the environment, the stadium, the fans are electric. But yes, as winning the World Series last year, and then even going to the World Series in 21, and just the tradition the Astros have had for the past 6 years. You can definitely tell, especially Seattle this weekend, they came in wanting to kick our butts, and they did that.
Do you guys feel like you guys kind of got blindsided by Seattle? Kind of looking at the Rangers as like the team to beat in the division, and all of a sudden, wait, whoa, like who hit us here?
Yeah. I mean, every team's good in this league. We know how good Seattle is. But yeah, I think we didn't come ready to play, and they wanted it way more, and that's what it looked like. I could see fans getting caught up in watching the Rangers as well. Oh, if they lose, we're good. Obviously, I think they got swept this past weekend as well. But as a team, you can't really look ahead of those things or in the past and worry about other teams, because you got to worry about yourself. And I don't think we worried about ourselves, and we got our butts kicked this weekend. It just seems like every time the Rangers lose, we lose. Every time we win, they win. But obviously, like you said, we didn't worry about Seattle, and they came in and kicked their butts. So now it's going to be a race for the rest of the year.
So it's a little scoreboard watching. Like, I think fans wonder when you start scoreboard watching. Sounds like you guys are scoreboard watching.
Well, yeah, I'm saying you can't do that, and maybe that's what happened, but obviously that you can't do that at all. You got to worry about yourself. This league's too hard to worry about other teams.
Hey, Chaz, were you freaking out when you saw the news, either as rumors or official, that Mr. Verlander was swinging back over to Houston?
Yeah, that was awesome. I mean, everybody in the clubhouse was kind of like chattering about it. I wasn't sure, but it's like 2 or 3 hours we're all at the field before the deadline, and it was funny. Like an hour or whatever, the news came out, and Bregman goes, "We got our dickhead back." So I thought that was.
Oh, okay. Let's make sure we're going to cut that so that Verlander doesn't hear
that. I just thought it was a funny thing. But yeah, we don't have to put that on.
No, that's fine.
No, it wasn't you. It wasn't you.
Also, this is not FCC TV. I like that.
I know. I just but Chaz said putting Bregman in the corner.
No, it's a great line.
It's a great line. I love it.
Yeah, it's kind of.
It's one Justin will be okay with, I think.
Yeah, it's like the shove it up yours guy. No.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Like our leader, our guy. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I like it.
I like it.
Chaz, you got so looking ahead even more after the season, you got a wedding coming up.
I do.
Congrats.
Thank you.
And where's the honeymoon? I mean, you signed for $1,000, so like you couldn't be taking big time trips, but now you're a big leaguer. You got your playoff bonuses. Big time big league honeymoon?
Yeah. Yeah, that's what my fiance's saying. It's kind of we're in a position where we have the wedding February, so a little like a couple weeks before the spring training. So I don't think we can do it straight after the wedding, just because it'd be a lot going on. So we're still trying to figure out maybe like after the season next year. We're kind of thinking about Cabo, maybe in Mexico.
I like that.
I like
Well,
that.
we
It
have
just
our
got
travel
hit-
expert
It just
right
got hit
next
by
to
a
me.
hurricane, though, so watch out.
Well, they can go in a year. I think it'll be
True.
okay.
But here's my thing. I love what you did right there, Chaz, because you know where it's a great place to have your honeymoon? West Palm Beach, Florida, at the ballpark of the Palm Beaches.
Exactly.
You know what you do? This is what you say. You say, honey, Courtney, right? Your name's Courtney, right?
Yeah, Courtney.
Courtney. You can say, Courtney, we're in Palm Beach. I have to go to spring training, but I'm going to treat you to the Breakers for a weekend. You can enjoy the spa. You can enjoy the beach. You can enjoy all the pools.
Exactly.
And I'm going to go to spring break. I'm going to go to spring training. I'll see you at 5 o'clock.
Yeah, you're 100% right. There's nothing better than a honeymoon in spring training. Baseball every day.
That is called a mini moon.
That's
or
what you get.
Called a no moon.
Sliver moon. Yeah, no moon.
Chaz, before you go, you were drafted in 17.
Yeah.
And 17 is the year that the Astros are kind of infamous for. Do you get it on the road, or even though you had nothing to do with that whole mess, do you still get it? I know the team does as a whole, but when you walk up to the plate, they're like, now batting Chas McCormick. Boo, cheater! Even though you weren't even part of the organization, barely?
So I got it in 2021, the first time fans were able to go to the games, after the scandal. Obviously had nothing to do with it. But it's not as bad anymore. You don't really hear it as much. Still get a couple boos, but it's not as bad. But 2021 was definitely, especially in New York, Los Angeles, even some new guys as well, like me on the 2021 team. We got some hate towards us, but after winning the World Series last year, definitely nice to quiet the crowd a little bit. But yeah, 2021, I was like, holy crap, this is real. This is definitely these fans don't like us. But it was cool to see us play with like a chip on our shoulder like that. Definitely in 2021, we took it. I thought a lot of the guys took it really well, and then we played super well on the road. So all the boos kind of made us a better team, I thought.
I will say it's a different situation, but we've given credit earlier in the year to Tatis when he came back. Obviously, you're going to hear it, right? He came back from his suspension. He's like dancing, having a good time. He's having a pretty good year. Like, I from a fan perspective, because that's the only time I can talk apparently on this interview. Like, it's good to have like villains and love, hate, and all of that with fan bases, right? As long as they keep it appropriate to an extent, like it's good for the game,
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, Chaz, dude, awesome catching up with you, dude. Keep up the great year, and I'm sure your boys will get right back on track as they always do, and appreciate the time, man.
Hey, thank you, guys. It was good to talk to you guys. Great to
Chaz, if you see Jeff Blum, your TV announcer, tell him he was better as a White Sox than he was as an Astro.
Will do. I will.
All right.
Thanks, Chaz.
Thanks, Chaz.